Hello, SAC fans. I'm Patrick Fritz, Commissioner of the South Atlantic Conference, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2022 SAC Basketball Championships. All of us associated with the SAC look forward to providing a wonderful championship atmosphere and a quality experience for the student athletes, coaches, and fans. We would like to thank Timmons Arena and Furman University for hosting the championship for the 9th year. As you just heard from the student athletes, sportsmanship is extremely important in the South Atlantic Conference. It is not only a core principle of the SAC, but it is a pillar of NCAA Division II as well. Sportsmanship unites all of us in a common goal, winning and losing with respect and dignity. With that being said, we ask that you reflect on what these student athletes just stated and respect our game. That means being loud and energetic when cheering for your team and not against your opponents, while also showing respect to the officials and each other as fans. Thank you again for joining us for the 2022 SAC Men's and Women's Basketball Championship, and enjoy the game.
Greetings, salutations, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Championship Sunday at Furman's Timmons Arena. It is the second-seeded Carson-Newman Eagles against the fourth-seeded Anderson Trojans. And here is how we arrived at this juncture. Carson-Newman going through UVA-Wise and Catawba, winners 66-58 in the semifinals, while Anderson handled Limestone in the quarters and won a foul fest over Wingate 76-69 in the semifinal round. The Trojans trying to play the role of spoiler. The Eagles looking to win their third title. So's Anderson, for that matter. Here's the starting five of the Trojans. Shamika McNeil, the one you got to talk about. Country's second leading scorer and a first-team All-SAC performer. Diamond McDowell showed up big in the semifinals with 14 points and 15 rebounds, a big double-double for an Anderson team that is very long and athletic. Meanwhile, Carson-Newman on the other side starts with Braylon Weichel, the league's fourth leading scorer, an All-American a year ago, 2 years removed from being named the Player of the Year, and Lindsey Taylor. Taylor a double-double in the semifinal round as well. Diamond McDowell and Brittany Bailey, Nalia Wilson. Anderson has some pretty formidable posts that they can throw at Lindsey Taylor. It should be an entertaining matchup in the paint, but probably the marquee matchup that you got to talk about is Weichel versus McNeil. Two of the best scorers that the South Atlantic Conference has to offer going toe-to-toe today. McNeil certainly the higher scoring average, only player from Ouachita Baptist averages more in the country than Shamika McNeil, while Braylon Weichel continues to move up Carson-Newman's all-time scoring charts. She sits in 7th on the Eagles' all-time list. Mike Mincy trying to win his second tournament title in 4 seasons. Eagles' last tournament championship, 2018. The Anderson Trojans trying to make it a second title in 3 years. Anderson victorious in 2019. Taylor and Brittany Bailey in the jump circle. The ball is in the air. Taylor taps the tip. Abby Wilson controls. And we are off and running on Championship Sunday between Carson-Newman and Anderson. Eagles go high-low, and Lindsey Taylor gets called for a push-off inside. High-low action was there, but Taylor gets called for the shove. And Anderson will get possession of the basketball. Trojans garbed in the black jerseys as McNeil pulls from the head of the key. Clanks the three off to the left. Taylor secures the rebound for the Eagles. Bird. It's called for the double dribble, absolutely. So back-to-back turnovers for the Eagles, a double dribble and a offensive foul. McNeil, the teardrop, she gets it to go, and Anderson cracks the seal first. Trojans up 2-0. I'm Adam Cavalier, pleased to welcome in the former Associate Commissioner of the South Atlantic Conference and former Belmont Abbey mentor Elaine Keeby as the Eagles get the cutting Taylor to the cup for an easy 2-2 ball game.
Good game.
Should be an entertaining one, Elaine Keeby. These teams met twice in the regular season. Eagles came away with wins both times.
Well, you know what they say. It's hard to beat a team 3 times, but since it is a tournament game, you can throw that out the window.
Right corner three off the mark from McDowell. Eagles grab the rebound. Certainly Anderson probably smarting over those 2 losses. They had the Eagles down 14-8 in the 2 games and let leads slip away late. See how Jonathan Barbary's club treats things here today with a bit more high-pressure environment.
Well, both these teams are playing their best basketball towards the end of the season, so I think it should be a very entertaining game with a lot of offense.
Bailey dribbles it off of her kneecap, and 3 turnovers early going between the 2 teams 2 minutes in. Anderson scored first on the McNeil teardrop. Eagles answered with a high-low action to Lindsey Taylor. Michael around the Taylor screen, pops for an open 2, rattles out, and Stafford pulls in the board.
I see little nerves out there, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit. Again, tight rims here at Timmons. It felt like that affected everybody but Queens men yesterday. Wilson getting going down on the right block. That always feels like it impacts things a little bit too when the shots that you would normally get to drop on those friendly home rims, they don't fall so frequently here in Timmons.
Different rims do make a difference. But they both played here yesterday and both shot around, so hopefully they got a better sense of those rims.
Taylor misses the long 17-footer. Trojans on the hop onto the offensive end. Bailey pulls for a long 2. Probably not the shot Jonathan Barbary wants to take in that situation.
They were a lot more patient yesterday.
Wilson heaves up a 3. Back of the rim, no good. McDowell snags the rebound. She had 14 of them yesterday. 15 of them, pardon me, to go with 14 points. Eagles haven't scored in 2 minutes. Stafford, high difficulty, banks it in from the right side. Trojans with a big 4-point lead early. Eagles were really good off high-low action to Lindsey Taylor yesterday against Catawba as McNeil gets a turnover at the head of the key. McNeil to the cup. Yeah. She glides in and scoops it home.
She is very quick, so she steals that ball. It's going to be 2 points down the other side.
Carson-Newman struggled with ball security yesterday against Catawba. Granted, easier said than done against one of the country's top turnover margin teams. More of that, though. Lindsey Taylor, high-low action, dumps it into the cup. She's got all 4 of Carson-Newman's points.
I think once they settle down, they'll go back to that offense.
Taylor was hyper-efficient yesterday against Catawba on lobs like that. Banging down low, Wilson. Airballs it. An offensive rebound. That won't fall for McDowell. Goforth cleans it up. Eagles onto the offensive end.
I think rebounding is going to be a key to this game.
Michael wide open look at a 3. Halfway down and out. Goforth follows through. Can't get it to go. Third try. The charm. Elaine Keeby right on cue.
You give a good team 3 tries, they're going to score.
2-point game. These two teams have been the dominant forces in the league over the last 8 years. You look at the regular season titles. Carson-Newman and Anderson combining for 6 of them. Wilson going to work, and she gets called for a walk. Second turnover for the Trojans brings us to a break. 4:57 left. First quarter. First 5 minutes and 3 seconds belongs to Anderson by a slim margin. 8-6. Back after this on the SAC Digital Network.
You've got to see this place.
You gotta see this place. You've gotta see this place.
You 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 gotta see this place.
You've gotta see this place.
You got to see this place.
You gotta see this place.
You gotta see this place.
Trojans up 8-6 early going in this contest. Trojans have hit 4 of their first 9 shots. Eagles 3 of their first 9, and well, there's the difference, Elaine Keeby.
Yeah.
Make one more shot than your opponent, you're up by 2 more points. Funny how that works. Harley Smith. Drive, gets pinned, flips it out. It's off of Penland's hands. Weichel tries to save it over and back, but can't do so. Well, turnovers were the issue for the Eagles against Catawba. Carson-Newman limited Catawba to under 30% shooting, but 26 giveaways probably made that game a bit more close than the Eagles would have cared for because of a boatload of empty possessions in spite of shooting better than 40% from the field. Stafford, long 2, knocks it down, nothing but strings. Back to a 4-point lead for the Trojans. They've led wire to wire thus far. Weichel accelerating to the basket, pumps, gets Stafford by her, and dumps it in.
That was good hesitation. Get the defense off of her.
Textbook move by Braylon Weichel. Pulls Carson-Newman within a couple. McNeil trying to get going. She has been absolutely electric this season for Jonathan Barbary's group. 19 games on the plus side of 20, but she can't convert with the left there. Carson-Newman a chance to tie. Wilson pulls it, knocks it down.
That's her shot. That's her shot from the right-hand side.
1-point lead for the Eagles. About to suggest, hey, go back to the high-low action to Taylor. Nearly a steal, but McDowell gathers it back and pushes it in off the glass.
Yeah, McDowell was the difference maker in yesterday's game, so I'm looking to her to do some things today too.
2 points, 3 rebounds early. High-low action. Taylor spins into a double team and gets called for steps. Good help side defense by Samantha Michelle. She creates that turnover. Get a second look here on the McDowell basket. Penland got the redirect, but McDowell, the stick-to-itiveness to put the Trojans back on top. McDowell working her way inside, lobs it up. Nothing. Eagles the board. They've made their last 3. Weichel behind the back dribble, kick out. Wilson, open look. Can't go back to back. Hare tracks down the rebound. Off the mark from Taylor Hare. Nearly had an offensive rebound, though. Weichel able to scoop it up and take it away from McDowell. Weichel penetrates, lays it up, lays it in. One-on-one with Stafford. Weichel wins the battle. She's got 4 here in the early going. Stafford looking for an answer. Doesn't have it. Pops out. Pinland. Great game yesterday with 18 for the Eagles. Really guided Carson-Newman's comeback. Good lob. Pierce the catch and the finish. Eagles their biggest lead here in the early going at 3. 15-12. Carson-Newman's made 5 of its last 6 buckets.
If you go for that steal and you're going to have help on the weak side, that's going to happen all day long. I'm surprised that you came out on her.
Here's probably the better defensive threat of the Eagles' 2 posts. McNeil the pull-up. Can't knock that one down. Carson-Newman not giving up the second. Eagles doing a good job on the glass. Weichel driving. The flip won't fall. Fouled and will head to the line.
I like that the smallest person on the floor is taking it to the basket every option she gets.
A Crusader's heart, if you will. A little throwback there for you, Elaine.
A little Crusader action?
A little Crusader action. From those good Belmont Abbey teams back in the day. Weichel converts on the first free throw. Eagles have kept the Trojans without a bucket for 2 minutes. Carson-Newman's made 5 of its last 6 shots. They're up by 4. Weichel makes it 2 of 2, and Carson-Newman has its biggest lead of the day at 5. A little 6-0 run for the Eagles. First free throws of the game for Braylon Weichel. McNeil trying to get going. Drive in the dish. Extra pass. Stafford for a triple. Good look. Couldn't get it to drop halfway down and out.
Seems that has a lid on the basket for Anderson today. They were making all those shots yesterday.
Weichel converts from the elbow. 8 straight for the Eagles. Carson-Newman's up by 7. Either an 8-0 or a 13-2 run for Carson-Newman, depending on how you want to look at it. Deflection out of bounds keeps it with the black-clad Trojans. A second look here at Weichel. Just taking it on Stafford and knocking it down. Pass into the post. Pierce deflects out of bounds. Last touch, though, by Michelle. Back to Carson-Newman. 3rd turnover for Anderson and Jonathan Barbary's group. 3 minutes without a point to close the quarter. Eagles have made 6 of their last 7 from the field.
And they're going for the last shot before the quarter's over.
It's been Weichel isolated on Stafford. See if that's the call here from Mike Mincy's unit. Run the weave, get it to Weichel. Accelerates, stops, leans up, tough runner, doesn't get the roll. And that is how the first quarter comes to a close. Carson-Newman closes the frame on a 13-2 run. Anderson, no points over the last 3:26 here on the SAC Digital Network.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
As soon as you win the state championship, you start getting calls and emails and brochures sent to you from all these ring companies. We'd already talked for a long time that the first one we got here at BA, it was going to be the biggest thing we could find. Right? It was going to be the biggest ring we could get. You know, we wanted to make this a celebration for the community, right? For our administration, for our school, right? And then to honor the kids. It's a big deal anytime you win a state championship in any sport.
(19-12), Carson-Newman in the front seat of this one. Eagles looking for their 3rd tournament title all time. Same true of the Trojans. Adam Cavalier, Elaine Keeby. Glad you're with us here on Championship Sunday. Elaine, Eagles closed the first quarter on a 13-2 run. Trojans just not falling right now.
They're not falling. I think once their nerves get down, they're taking good shots. They're not taking bad shots, but some of them are just even rimming out and popping bad out. So
there's a good shot from McNeil from the corner, left it short. That's the other thing. Trojans, really good rebounding team, not getting seconds.
Rebound is going to be the key. I hate to keep saying that, but
good defense down low by Samantha Michelle, defending without fouling on the drive by Bo Shears. Hare, turn and shoot. Another one, rims out, got an offensive rebound though, and Michelle gets fouled.
Yeah. I think that's the third or fourth shot that just rimmed out for them today.
Charge the foul to Michaela Alvey. That's her first of the period. The second look, good hustle by Michelle, splitting both Pierce and Alvey to get the board and earn a couple free throws. Michelle's first, silky smooth, nothing but cords for a 72% shooter at the stripe.
Well, they're shooting free throws, both teams, better than them yesterday. That was the challenge last night with the missing free throws.
It stops the 8-0 run for the Eagles that closed the first quarter and gives Anderson its first points in 4 minutes. Weichel, the drive, gets called for steps.
That's a good call.
Sixth turnover for Carson-Newman. Jonathan Barbary is entrusting Brittany Stafford to defend Weichel one-on-one. Hasn't been a lot of help presented for the incarnate word transfer, Stafford.
Yeah. They're not rotating on defense to step in.
McNeil wide open look at a three, and she cans that one. Can't let Shamika McNeil get that wide open. Five straight for the Trojans to start the period.
Yeah. It was just a matter of time when they start falling. You can't keep a good team down.
Weichel flashes open on the baseline. She doesn't knock down the 15-footer. Put the ball in McNeil's hands. Let her go to work for the Trojans. One would presume she's a shoo-in for All-America honors for Jonathan Barbary's bunch. The pull-up won't fall from the middle of the lane. Pinland tries to save in the rebound, but she steps on the baseline.
I can't believe how many of their shots rimmed out.
Second look here at one that didn't. McNeil.
Yeah.
No doubt.
That's the one that counted right there.
5 straight for Anderson to start the period. A chance to tie here for AU. Eagles have started 0 of 2 in the period with a turnover. McNeil, long 2 from the left corner is short. Wilson did a good job getting out there with a high hand.
Both teams are holding each other to one shot with good rebounding.
Alvey, pull up, right elbow J, splash from 15.
And then if you make the basket, there is no rebound.
Thank you, Karnak. Hare. Dump it into the post for Bailey. Turn and shoot on Bird, rims out. Good box out by Taylor to seal off Wilson. Alvey pulls it. The right corner 3. 5 straight for Alvey. And just like that, the Eagles answer. 5 straight for the Trojans to start the period. 5 in a row for Michaela Alvey to stretch it back to 7. Alvey, not really known as a jump shooter. That's just her 5th made 3 of the season. Right elbow jumper off the mark for Bailey, and Alvey there with the rebound.
Anderson's starting to rush their shots right now.
Good pass in transition. Taylor at the 10 for 2. Wilson the dime from midcourt. 7-0 burst for the Eagles in 67 seconds. Trojans 1 of 7 to start from the field for the period. Inside goes Wilson. Chucks it up with the right hand, won't go down, but a long rebound for Bailey. Second chance. Hare pivoting. The 15-footer leaves it short. Bird cleans it up. The lob into the forecourt. Taylor can't handle it. Eagles turn it over for a 7th time.
They're beating Anderson down on the transition now.
There's the pass that did work. Wilson playing the role of quarterback, firing a BB for Taylor to finish uncontested at the bucket. 9-point lead for the Eagles is their largest of the game. McNeil open for a right corner jumper. No good. Taylor with the rebound. Yeah, that's probably the key right now. Eagles +6 on the glass. Bird pulls a long two and knocks it down. 9-0 run for the Eagles. Carson-Newman's up double digits for the first time tonight.
What's that shooting percentage?
McNeil airballs it from the right elbow. Ping-pongs that around off of Nalia Wilson. Carson-Newman ball. You want to know why the Eagles have built out an 11-point lead?
Because they're shooting 54% from the field, that's why.
4 of 6-2 for the second period.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, Anderson, 1 of 11 in the quarter. They've missed 8 straight.
That lid is still there for them.
Taylor going to work, one-on-one down low. She wins the battle. 8 for Lindsay Taylor, 11 consecutive for the Eagles. Well, it was Anderson who controlled the regular season meetings early, building 14 and 8-point halftime leads against Carson-Newman, but it was the Eagles who rallied twice. Trojans hoping they can find a comeback here, and bucket there stops a lengthy scoring drought, pulls them within 11. Taylor back to work down low, can't convert at the cup. Bailey rips down the rebound. 13-2 and 11-0 runs to build a lead for the Eagles. McNeil out of control, lost the handle on it, gets it back in the right corner. McDowell showing frustration, does get the ball. Thought about this three, instead drives, glides in, and dumps it in off the glass. Strong take by Diamond McDowell. Important to get her going for Jonathan Barbary.
They were a little bit more patient on that offensive set.
Go for it. Penetrates. Free throw line, Jay. Strong, an offensive rebound by Taylor. Anderson hasn't given up many of those. Granted, Eagles have only missed 11 shots. Haven't been many chances for offensive rebounds. Bird. Kick into the corner. Go for it, the drive. Looking for a bounce. It's kicks with 7 on the clock. And that brings us to a break in the action. 3:59 to play in the second. Carson-Newman winning 30-21 on SAC title game Sunday. Trojans 3 of 13 from the field in the period. Jonathan Barbary's group trying to find the offensive footing after this on the SAC Digital Network.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
(30-21), Carson-Newman a 9-point lead. Eagle fans enjoying Carson-Newman's performance so far. Lane Keeby, great shot making, offense
Absolutely.
flowing.
As hot as Carson-Newman is, that's how cold Anderson is. But as you know, in basketball, it can change in a New York minute.
Nice feed inside for Weichel. Better defense, though, by Stafford to alter the shot. Anderson scored 4 straight to take a 13-point Carson-Newman lead down to 9. Both these teams looking for their 3rd SAC tournament crown. Nice take to the cup. Bailey scoops it in. 6 in a row for the Trojans. Anderson's within 7. Good rim attack basketball for Anderson.
They need to do that a lot more right now since the outside shot isn't working. They need to take it to the basket a bit more.
Michael spins one in from 15. That stops the 6-0 burst for Anderson. McNeil scrapes around a screen, accelerates to the cup, doesn't get the roll. Taylor, another rebound, her 5th. Weichel, wide open look at a 3, missed it. Long rebound, Wilson pulls up, 15, yes!
Offensive rebounding makes a difference.
4 second chance points for Carson-Newman. That's in the last 3 minutes or so. Again, when you're shooting 52%, you really don't need the seconds. That can be such a killer for an opponent. McNeil, pull up, left elbow, leaves it short. Long rebound in the corner. Goforth wins the race. She's trapped, and Mike Mincy burns a timeout. You want to know the difference in this one? Just it's shooting.
30, what is it, 30?
30.3.
30% to 51%.
Yeah.
That's major. That's major.
And then plays like that. Abby Wilson, the second chance bucket off the miss from Weichel. And you got to circle one thing. Yeah, it's easy to say shooting.
Yeah.
Carson-Newman's rebounding against a very long, lengthy team in Anderson.
Absolutely.
Very athletic. Has
Absolutely.
been off the charts.
And when you only give them one shot, one opportunity. But the other thing that Carson-Newman is doing, every time Anderson is scoring, they come back and they're scoring on their end. So it's balancing it out there.
Eagles up double digits early. This is uncharted territory for Carson-Newman against Anderson in terms of early game success. Eagles were down big early in both regular season meetings with the Trojans before pulling it back from the brink to win twice. 2 remarkable games, especially in the Abney Center. It felt like the Eagles were dead in the water. Wilson, big time 3 for a bucket. The step back and the hesitation. Wilson with 8. She's 2 of 4 from deep. Lead to 14, largest of the night for Carson-Newman off of a 7-0 run. How about the answer? Anderson scored 6 straight to get it down to 7. Eagles counter. Goforth, nice box out on the miss. Loose ball, though. Pinland grabs it, tied up. Arrow favors the Eagles.
Now the question,
Here's another look at the Wilson step back. That was smooth as silk for Abby Wilson.
Can Carson-Newman continue to shoot like that throughout the next half? That's the question.
The shot making has certainly been off the charts, but probably the more impactful thing has been the rebounding.
Absolutely.
Taylor off the Euro, won't go, but she shoved. And here we have and this has been a very cleanly officiated
I was just going to say, we didn't have too many fouls so far in the first half.
That's the 4th combined from both teams here in the first half. 2nd on the Trojans. Yeah. It goes on McDowell, her first. And Taylor converts at the line. Bit of a collector's item for her. If there's one weakness to her game, it is her free throw shooting. 55% on the year. She knocks that one down, knocks both of them down.
She's 2 for 2 right now.
9-0 run for the Eagles. Carson-Newman surges up by 16. Rebounding, shot making, massive for the Eagles. Turn and shoot, airmailed by the Trojans, Samantha Michelle, but she'll head to the line after the foul on Lindsay Taylor, who picks up her 2nd. Now that is the boon for Jonathan Barbary's group. You put 2 on Carson-Newman's all-conference post, big thing. Michelle going to work on Taylor, and Taylor just inched forward a smidge. Wall was nearly built, but toppled over at the tip. Stops the 9-0 run with the first made free throw by Michelle. Ricochets off to the left, Goforth collects. Penland
Was that
accelerates.
illegal screen?
Yeah, you got a moving screen on Sydney Pierce. First on Pierce, third on Carson-Newman. Trojans 4 of 17 from the field in the period. 29% for the game. Being out-rebounded by 11. Positives is that they've turned Carson-Newman over 8 times. Have 9 points off those turnovers, but here Anderson gives it away. Penland playing the passing lane in the post. Weichel uses the screen, accelerates, kicks, a 3 from the corner. Penland, bullseye. First points for Campbell Penland. She had 18 in the semifinals, and the Eagles swell it to 18 off of a 12-2 run. 13-2, 11-0, 12-2. 3 distinct runs for the Eagles this period.
I've watched Carson-Newman play many, many games throughout the years. I can't remember them ever shooting like this.
Not at Furman.
Not in Furman. That's what I meant.
Wilson the heave. That was big-time heat check 3, and she airballed it.
I think I just jinxed them.
Now this certainly has the Stafford, nice little.
Was she hiking? Are we playing football? That's a little hike.
She makes that when she's on SportsCenter. No question about it. Halftime at Timmons Arena.
Yes.
And Carson-Newman in control, leading the Trojans 42-26 at the halftime break. And great shot making for the Eagles.
And the rebounding.
Yeah.
Rebounding is crucial because they're only giving them one shot. One and done. And that makes a big difference when you can only give a good team one shot.
I mean, Anderson has just as many offensive rebounds as Carson-Newman. 4. And the Trojans dead even. Actually, Carson-Newman has more second chance points than the Trojans do. So,
well, 53% to 31% is the answer to why the big difference in the game right now.
All right, we send things over. Christian Stryker standing by with Carson-Newman head coach Mike Mincy.
Coach Mincy, you guys have gotten on fire here lately with the shooting and then second chance points. Tell us a little bit about first half.
Well, you know, obviously in a game like this, you want to come out and make plays. Didn't shoot it well yesterday. I'm obviously pleased with how we shot it there in the first half. The game's long from over. You know, Anderson was cold there. We were able to keep him off the boards because we knew that was going to be a key factor, is keeping a great offensive team or a great offensive rebounding team off the boards. And I think, you know, for the most part this half we've done a pretty good job.
Coach, good luck the second half.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Coach Mike Mincy.
All right, thank you very much, Christian Stryker. Halftime, Eagles up 16 at the break, halfway home to their third ever tournament title here on the SAC Digital Network.
Every student comes to Wingate with a story. I know I did. Our students come from all walks of life.
They come to us as young people with hopes and dreams of their own. They're looking to Wingate to become the best version of themselves, and that's what we do.
The effect that Wingate has on me is compounded by the effect I have on the world after I leave Wingate.
Because making a difference is fundamental
to what we are as a university
and who we are as people.
Halftime in Timmins Arena sees Carson-Newman leading Anderson 42-26. Trojans will need a big-time comeback effort in the second half, and they'll have to start with shot making. That's what Carson-Newman had in spades in the first half of basketball, and it came from beyond the arc, it came from inside, but some turnovers early. McNeil getting up and down for 2. 7 points for the league's leading scorer, just on 3 of 14 shooting. McNeil, Silk from beyond the arc. That was her lone make from distance. Trojans 1 of 7 from deep in that first half. Meanwhile, Carson-Newman nearly had a bucket there, or nearly had a steal there. Diamond McDowell able to take control. And then the Trojans go back to McDowell for the floater on the 2 through contact with Alvey. The Eagles and their own scoring punch. Braylon Weichel missed, but Wilson cleans it up and knocks down the 15-footer. Carson-Newman just shot the cover off the ball. 53% from the field. Good north-south attack by Braylon Weichel to get to the basket for 2. She has 10, as does Lindsey Taylor, to shoulder the scoring load for the Eagles. And shots like that, Wilson popping for 3 when those are falling. Carson-Newman is a difficult team to beat. And when Abby Wilson's making passes like this, things are really going the Eagles' way. Wilson, a dime from midcourt for Lindsey Taylor. Taylor fire up. Did pick up a second foul late, but the 1-2 punch of Taylor and Weichel really doing work for the Eagles to a 16-point halftime lead on the Anderson Trojans on SAC Title Game Sunday here at Timmins Arena on the SAC Digital Network.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess.
An incredible finish by Hall. The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
Halftime in Timmins Arena, where Carson-Newman is halfway home to a third all-time tournament title. Eagles trying to win their first since 2018. The other one that Carson-Newman was in was the 2005 tournament. Rare nuggets for one of the more successful women's basketball programs historically for Carson-Newman. Lots of regular season success, not so much in the tournament, but a solid showing here in the first half for the Eagles. Meanwhile, Anderson also on the hunt for its third crown. 2013 won as a 1 seed versus 6th seeded Tusculum by 3 points. Won by 2 against 2nd seeded Wingate as the top seed in 2019. Eagles up at the break here on the SAC Digital Network.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
At Furman's Timmons Arena, where Carson-Newman leads by 16 at the break. Over to Christian Stryker, who has Anderson head coach Jonathan Barbary's comments.
Coach Barbary, tell us what you talked about in the locker room as you guys went in at the half here.
Well, you know, honestly, you got to give credit to Carson-Newman. They knocked down a lot of good shots. Some contested, just good shots. So they had good offensive half. We didn't have as good an offensive half as I think we could. We've got to do a better job of taking care of the ball, get the right shots that we want, and just leave it all out on the court right now. Second half is all that's left. Play hard, see what happens.
Sounds great. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Christian Stryker. Well, probably part of Jonathan Barbary's message is, hey, they've done it to us. We can do it to them. Eagles were down big to Anderson twice in the regular season before rallying both times in regular season wins. Anderson now trying to do it to Carson-Newman. Both these teams on the hunt for their third ever tournament titles. Not too far removed from their last ones. Trojans won it in 2019 as the top seed. That was the year that Anderson hosted the regional. The Eagles won it as the top seed in 2018 over Wingate as the top seed. Certainly regional implications persisting in this one. For Carson-Newman, the Eagles are in. No doubt about it. Carson-Newman is the 5 seed. It would, I don't know what it would take. Maybe Clayton State winning the Peach and Francis Marion beating Barton, but I would say at this point Carson-Newman's
Carson,
a lock.
yeah, no matter what happens here, Carson-Newman's in. I'm concerned about Anderson because I think they were number 10.
Not 9 in the
9.
last one.
So there's an outside chance they might jump to 8 since they beat Wingate yesterday, who's above them. But let's just hope North Georgia wins. And Barton.
Anderson's certainly big Nighthawk fans right now, big Bulldog fans right now. McNeil got to get her
That's
going.
a good start.
And she cans
That's a
in
good
3.
start.
13, the lead for the Eagles after McNeil starts the second half with her 8th, 9th, and 10th point. Eagles go inside. Taylor missed the first, made the second. Check that. Offensive foul. She gets called for the clear out. See if we can't get
Where's the replay?
Second look at that one on cue. Taylor banging her way inside.
That's a tough call. That's a tough call.
Is the reach up with the left arm, I think, what got her. McNeil could trim it to 10 with a 3. Dribble drive. Good wall built by Taylor. McNeil taps it out. Back to Carson-Newman it goes. Taylor exits. Big third personal on her, by the way.
Yeah, she'll be sitting for a little bit now. Let's see if Anderson can take advantage of that.
Sydney Pierce is certainly a high-level defender. Conference's leader in blocks. But Pierce, yes, scoring drop-off there. Go for it. Pops for the triple. Airballed it. Wide to the left.
You can see Anderson's defense picking up a little bit.
A good intensity out of the locker room for Jonathan Barbary's group. Carson-Newman shot better than 50% from the field in the first half. Anderson at 30%. Stafford around the screen. Doesn't have it, gives it up. Bailey finds McDowell to the cup, glides in and gets fouled. Diamond McDowell, strong take inside and puts a personal on Goforth. Her first, team's second.
Yeah, that was with the body.
So McDowell heads to the stripe. Barely moves the strings on the first. Anderson 4 of 5 as a team at the line. McDowell is 67% free throw shooter.
What a difference from yesterday's game, huh? The free throws.
Could not make one.
Oh, yeah, I jinxed her. I jinxed her.
See, everybody thinks it's the play-by-play guy with the broadcasters jinx. No, it applies to the color analysts as well.
Thank you, Adam.
You're welcome. Put that one on Elaine Keeby. Weichel pulls it and gets fouled. So charge that one to Stafford, her second. First on the Trojans. The penetration, the pull up, got Stafford airborne and barely grazed her. Got her on the wrist.
Yep.
Michael converts on the first.
I think we'll see a little bit more fouling now that they're beginning to get a little bit more aggressive on defense.
I mean, what do we have? 4 combined in the first half.
And we're at 3
yeah.
already. Well, when your defense intensity goes up, fouling goes up. Just part of the game.
Michelle, turn and shoot, missed it over top of Pierce. There's an offensive rebound. Anderson didn't have many of those in the first half. They get an open look at a 3 ball from Brittany Bailey. That's off the mark. Bailey knocks him down at 34%. Couldn't convert on that one. Weichel, nice hesitation, gets inside, reverse layup. Got the roll off the backboard. Strong take.
She is on fire today.
14 for Braylon Weichel on 5 of 11 shooting.
She makes it look so easy, doesn't she?
Anderson has left Stafford on an island against Weichel, and Weichel's taken advantage. I'd be curious to see if Jonathan Barbary switches up the defensive strategy without Taylor in the game to defend in the post.
I think that's why they're going to the basket a little bit more.
Nice little scrum there and a foul on Goforth. So 2 on her, 3 on the Eagles. And a 2-shot foul for Samantha Michelle. Team's even here in the third, 4-4, but Eagles had the 16-point halftime lead. Michelle converts.
That's why there's 2 halves of these games.
That worked out for Carson-Newman in the regular season. The Eagles were down big at the break both times to Anderson, both on the road and at home, and rallied. We're down big late. Eagles trailed by 7 late in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes to play before rallying at the Abney Center. Turnovers have been an issue for the Eagles this tournament. 26 yesterday, 10 here today.
See how they're going at her?
Michelle hacked by Pierce. That's 2 on Pierce, a 4th on the Eagles. Yeah, Pierce absolutely with the arm. Wax
She got
Michelle.
her with the body and the arm on that one.
Gives Anderson a chance to score with the clock stopped. Granted, we're not exactly down to the nitty-gritty, but anytime you can score with the clock stopped, trailing big.
Especially when you're down, exactly. This is helping Anderson for sure.
Spins out, gotta convert. Back-to-back 1 of 2 trips.
That was it.
Michael. At the hesitation, the deflection. Pierce lost it, still loose. Tie up, possession arrow to Carson-Newman. So it stays with the Eagles.
They're doing a nice job collapsing on the drive for Anderson. They made some adjustments, obviously, at halftime.
Bird pulls the long 2. Silk. 16 for Carson-Newman. Bird, a sliver of daylight. She took it. 3 of 3 from the field. We're one of 3 players in Carson-Newman women's basketball history who's a 4-time All-SAC pick. Go to work again, Michelle. Banks it in off the window. Right back at Sydney Pierce.
I think that's the game plan right now while she's in there. And it's working for them.
Michael. Through contact, didn't finish. Carson-Newman bench wanted the foul call.
Yes, they did.
Stafford. And a whistle and a 3 in the key call. Anderson, a 5th turnover. Eagles by 14. They've led by as many as 18. 16 was the halftime margin. Wilson, pull up, the 3. Nearly banked in, caromed out, McNeil the rebound. And on the run.
She's going, oh.
Great transition, D by Weichel. Deflects it, knocks it off of McNeil, out of bounds it goes. How about
that
the
was
effort
yes.
by Braylon Weichel. Got a paw in.
There. That's a great hustle. That's just a great hustle play.
Certainly you could say that both ways.
Yeah.
Anderson trailing by 14, but the zeal, the zest, the effort has been there for the Trojans. Also been there for Carson-Newman.
Yes, yes.
Shots just haven't fallen for Anderson, while Carson-Newman's shot making has been prodigious. Penland takes it into McDowell, got blocked out of bounds. So Penland rejected, and that sends us to a break. 4:53 to play in the third. A little under 15 minutes, all that separates Carson-Newman from its third SAC tournament title here on the SAC Digital Network.
At Anderson University, we are on a journey, one that seeks to find the purpose for which God created each and every one of us. So we search, we grow, we dive in, and with a close-knit community, small class sizes, accomplished and supportive faculty, and a spirit that believes that together we can accomplish big things, the person we are striving to become doesn't feel so far away. So we push, we dream, we dig deeper, until our journey finds us as teachers, artists, writers, athletes, engineers, nurses, and friends. And while we're at it, we just might change the world. Anderson University, knowledge for your journey.
48-34, Carson-Newman in the driver's seat. Anderson trying to do to the Eagles what Carson-Newman did to the Trojans twice in the regular season, and that's rally. Lead hovering around the halftime margin for Carson-Newman here in the SAC title game. Weichel to the cup. Can't get the roll. An offensive rebound, though. Bird has it deflected. McNeil corrals it.
She's going all the way.
McNeil has it rejected by Pierce at the cup. Weichel tied up with Brittany Bailey. Anderson has the arrow.
McNeil is struggling a little bit with her decision-making, I think.
Here's just a little tip there. I mean, yeah, you'd think 10 points for a woman who averages 22 a night. Not bad. Stafford pops for three and airballed it. Wilson elevates to pull in the rebound, but the efficiency. McNeil just 4 of 17 from the field.
Exactly. She is struggling.
In transition, Pierce dumps it in at the cup.
That was an unbelievable assist. Everybody sees the basket, but that would not have happened without a perfect pass.
Abby Wilson has a couple of those today now, off feeds from the timeline.
Yeah.
Penland. I presume Penland with the foul on Michelle. Yes, indeed it is Penland. First on her, fifth on the Eagles. Anderson shooting free throws for the rest of the period. And they have been slightly an adventure here this quarter. 3 of 6 at the line. Michelle makes that one look easy, though. Michelle, a 72% shooter on the year. High arcing, off the back iron.
She's made the first every time and missed the second.
4 of 8. Michelle 6 of 10 at the line for the game. Below her season average. High-low action to Pierce. A little bit too tall, and then Michelle taps it out. Penland. The bounce for Pierce. Didn't catch it clean. Would have had an open look otherwise. Weichel. Hand off for Alvey. North-south. Doesn't get the teardrop to fall. See what McNeil does here. 4 of 17 from the field for the first team all-league performer. She had 33 against the Eagles in the meeting in Holt Fieldhouse. And it's out of bounds off of McNeil's foot. McNeil.
She is struggling tonight.
Head down, she's frustrated.
I would sit her down for a couple of minutes just to get her head back together.
She looks frustrated.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. That might help her.
Guards Weichel, does McNeil. Weichel drives to the cup, right hand. Doesn't get through 2, but Pierce is there to clean up the miss. 17, the lead for the Eagles. 6 for Pierce off of her third board.
She's done a good job going in after Taylor got in foul trouble.
And she gets a redirect on the other end. Michael racing front court. Lobs, Pierce, catch, no finish. The tap, though, still loose. Michelle finally corrals it. McNeil. Official says got the deflection. That's why there's no carry. And McNeil knocks it down for 15.
Scores.
Yeah, finally gets going.
Maybe that'll get her going.
43% shooter on the year, 34 from beyond the arc. Not a high volume player, as Wilson misses wildly off to the left. But 5 of 18 here today. McNeil, can she make it back to back? No, halfway down and out, but an offensive rebound, and should be a trip call on Michaela Alvey. And 2 free throws for the Trojans. Hard luck there for Alvey. She's just on the ground, ends up tripping on the rebound. So Alvey takes a tumble, and then down goes Brittany Bailey in turn. It's a 3rd on Alvey, 6th on the Eagles this period. And Malaya Wilson up off the bench. She replaces Taylor Hare.
And again, for Anderson, scoring with the clock not running is might help them a little bit here.
Neither team shot the ball well after halftime. Trojans haven't been able to take advantage of Carson-Newman's 4 of 14 effort from the field. Anderson just 3 of 10. And the free throws, they've been sporadic. 5 of 9 in the quarter, 6 of 10. First time that the Trojans have knocked down both free throws. Trojans trim it to 13. They've outscored the Eagles 13-10 here in the 3rd. Pierce. Over to Penland. The 3 ball. Dead-eye! Campbell Penland has 6.
Seems like Carson-Newman has an answer every time.
Campbell Penland, the daughter of former Carson-Newman football quarterback Matt Penland, helped the Eagles to a national title game in 1996. Daughter trying to get a championship here. Flex out of bounds off of the Trojans. Carson-Newman ball.
That was a look.
Get another crack at the Penland bomb. Pierce the feed. McNeil had the hand up. Penland just stroked it.
Pretty shot.
Penland penetrates on Stafford, gets the basket, pumps, leans up, can't get the bunny to go, and then Penland taps it out. $16 the lead for the Eagles. That was the halftime margin. Here in the SAC title game, Carson-Newman looking for its 3rd crown. So is Anderson. Teams have never met in a SAC tournament game before. Diamond McDowell on 2 defenders, airballs it. Got the rebound though. Stafford off the kick. Long off the heel. A 3rd chance. Bounce inside off of Zan Rowland out of bounds. Now you said it, Elaine. Shamika McNeil, she looked frustrated. Jonathan Barbary is sat her for a minute. See if this rest here at the end of the
Absolutely.
3rd does her any good.
I would have done that for sure. That's why I suggested it.
The old coach.
Coming at him.
Yeah. Put aside your retired assistant commissioner's cap, associate commissioner's cap.
Senior assistant.
Yeah. Michael off the miss, and Stafford can't get a shot off in time, and that's how the 3rd quarter comes to a close. So the Eagles only shoot 31% in the frame, but Anderson can't make any inroads into the deficit. Carson-Newman carries a 16-point lead into the 4th quarter. 10 minutes, all that separates Carson-Newman from a 3rd tournament championship here on the SAC Digital Network.
Not everybody's going to pick Catawba, but Catawba can be a place for anybody. You can find a sense of belonging. You can find your people here, and it can be whatever you make it.
If you want to transform into the person you have the potential to be,
if you aspire to inspire the world around you and others,
if you want to discover a sense of belonging and make it what you want, there's a place for you here.
Catawba College is waiting. Are you ready?
Excellence, integrity, care, curiosity. These are the values that define who we are, a community of thinkers, competitors, and achievers passionately pursuing the path of a purpose-driven life. Because at Lenoir-Rhyne University, we are called to greatness. We are LR.
Elaine Keevy, you wondered earlier, could Carson-Newman maintain its torrid shooting from the first half? The answer
is no.
However, Anderson not able to capitalize.
Exactly.
Carson-Newman 29% in the third quarter. But Anderson just 3 of 13.
Exactly.
Trojans got to the line 10 times, only made 6 of them.
And that's the thing. If they would have gotten some more baskets in that third quarter, they might have made a little dent into that lead. But we still have 10 more minutes to go.
It's interesting the different feels between the men's and women's games. 10 minutes on the men's game, you're down 16.
That's nothing.
It's nothing. 10 minutes. You're starting the fourth
you
quarter,
blink, it's a 3-point game. Yeah. Because of the speed of the game also on the men's side.
I'm more just talking about the difference quarter to half.
Oh, yeah.
Go for a strong take. Just psychologically what that does.
I was watching the men's game yesterday. I'm like, what quarter are they in? I don't know. 2 halves, Elaine. 2 halves.
Normally I'm on the men's broadcast, and I've got to check myself. It's quarters, not halves. Go for it to the line for 2, and she calmly sinks it. Eagles have been flawless at the charity stripe, 7 of 7 so far today.
Again.
8 of 8. It doesn't happen when I say it.
I'm not saying it anymore. I'm the jinxer.
18 the lead for the Eagles. Carson-Newman's matched its biggest advantage of the day off of the 2 go-forth free throws, her first points. McNeil back into the game for the Trojans, but Anderson goes inside, nearly a turnover for Michelle. McNeil pulls the 3 and converts around a screen. Third made triple for McNeil. She's got 15 points on 6 of 20 shooting. Trojans get it down to a 15-point lead. Certainly not done after this one. Goforth pulls up and rolls in a 10-footer. 4 straight for Taylor Goforth. The nightcap today, men's championship game also in action. That's at 4 p.m. Carson-Newman men, the 5 seed, against the 2nd-seeded Queens Royals. Michelle rattles it out from 15. Carson-Newman 13-2, 11-0, and 12-2 runs to build a big lead early, and they have maintained it. Teams were even in the third. Taylor gets back in, goes to work on Michelle, dribbled it off of her foot, and it's poked out of bounds.
I think she came a little too far out for that.
7 to get a shot off for Carson-Newman. Jonathan Barbary hollering in instructions. Bird. Stop. 3 to shoot. Weichel gets it to Penland, and
3
got
seconds.
3 in the key. That was going to be a tough shot for Campbell Penland, no matter which way you stretched it. McDowell drives on Goforth. Goforth defended it well.
She does such a good job making the offense adjust their shots.
Taylor Goforth, if you talk to Mike Mincy, he'll tell you best plus-minus player on the team. That's why she's in the starting 5. There's a reason why Addison Bird's in the starting 5. Nice bounce feed for Taylor to dump it in. 14 for Lindsay Taylor. Back into the game playing through foul trouble. 19-point lead for the Eagles, their biggest of the game. Stafford wants the triple, won't fall. Goforth, the board, poked out. Carson-Newman ball.
They're still doing a good job on the boards.
Here's in a second look at Bird's bounce pass to Taylor. Drew the two defenders and finds Taylor wide open at the cup. Trojans haven't scored in 2 minutes. Eagles have made both their buckets this period and scored on 3 of their 4 fourth quarter possessions. Michael moves inside on McNeil, flips it out for Goforth. Goforth. Wilson wants the corner triple. Swirls it home. 11 for Abby Wilson. The senior is the third Eagle into double figures, and Carson-Newman swells it to 22. McNeil, tough off the bounce, won't drop. Carson-Newman a 7-0 run, looking to leave no doubt in this one. Weichel around a screen, flashes for the 16-footer. 9 straight for the Eagles. And Carson-Newman is up by 24. Stafford, the turnaround, Jay. That's a tough shot. Goforth has her 8th rebound. Taylor Goforth, 1 off her career high for rebounds. A jump ball and the ball back to Anderson. Trojans haven't scored in 3:33. Eagles have outscored Anderson 11-3 in the frame. There's another look at Wilson's triple from the corner.
They just seem unstoppable right now, don't they?
Well, we talked about the shooting percentages as McNeil misfires. Eagles had the swoon in the third. They haven't missed a shot here in the fourth, and that'll continue as Weichel gets fouled. In charge Stafford with her third.
And that's the difference.
Weichel just getting north-south, a nice behind-the-back move. And just drawing contact with Stafford to get to the line. Weichel with 16, 17. 2-2 trip for the All-American. Eagles on an 11-0 run.
Ooh.
McNeil pulled the shoot there, and Abby Wilson really had to stop her momentum in a hurry. Left baseline. Here's a jumper. McDowell off the mark. Bird the rebound. Carson-Newman in control as McDowell fouls Bird.
We've talked about McNeil a lot. Even though she's having a tough game, she is an awesome player.
Yeah.
She's had a fantastic season, and I hate for her to end her season this way.
She started so hot against Wingate yesterday. Had 16 at the break. It had an inefficient second half, and that's kind of carried over here. Anderson will burn a timeout, and this will bring us to a break. 5:02 to play. Carson-Newman in the driver's seat. Eagles in control, looking for that third title here on the SAC Digital Network.
Years ago, our fathers brought forth.
It was Mr. Hines who made me want to become a teacher.
And then I said, that's one small step for man, one giant leap. And that's why we don't try this at home. Any questions?
He inspired me. But it was LMU that helped me turn that dream into a reality.
77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent.
All right, 68-42. Carson-Newman, 5:02 away from a SAC title. Elaine Keeby. Let's throw it back. What'd you say first 3 minutes of the game?
I said it's going to come down to rebounding, and honestly, I think that was a big factor in this game.
Carson-Newman against one of the better rebounding teams, especially on the offensive glass in the country in Anderson.
Yeah.
Plus 17. They turn it over here, though. Stafford racing to the cup. Nice spin move, and she finishes. That stops a 4-minute, 17-second scoring drought for Anderson, and then a foul on Weichel by McDowell. And just like that,
it's media timeout.
We take another break. 4:51 left. 68-44. Carson-Newman in control. This is the SAC Digital Network.
You've got to see this place.
You got to see this place. You've got to see this place.
You gotta 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 see this place.
You've got to see this place.
You got to see this place.
You gotta see this place.
You gotta see this place.
(68-44), Carson-Newman leading Anderson. The Eagles looking for their second SAC tournament title in 4 years, and they have led for the majority of this one. Trojans got up by 6 early, but the Eagles 13-2, 11-0, 12-2, and 9-0 runs to run away with it. Foul called on the Trojans, Nalia Wilson. Wilson with her first, 5 on Anderson, shooting free throws the rest of the way. Get a second look at Wilson's hack. And Taylor to the line to shoot 2. Rebounding has been the name of the game. Just 9 offensive rebounds for Anderson, shooting 28% from the field for the game. Anderson with fewer second chance points than Carson-Newman. Taylor an 0-2 trip, but Bird has the look, what I found, rebound and the bucket from the right side. The breaks rolling Carson-Newman's way.
Everything's going Carson-Newman's way today. Unfortunately, it happens at a championship game for Anderson.
Well, you're hoping if you're the Trojans, as Wilson gets whistled, that you've done enough to move up a spot in the region rankings. Jonathan Barbary's club, as we get another look at the Bird follow-through, had unlucky early on in non-conference action, but man, they have been a house on fire lane.
They have, the last 10 games, they've been really good. Look what they did to Wingate at Wingate. They blew them out, the top seed.
Yeah, 2 big wins over the Bulldogs late.
So hopefully that's going to count, wins over ranked teams. I just pray that Barton wins and North Georgia wins. They might have an outside chance of slipping into that 8th spot.
And Jonathan Barbary, as Taylor knocks down the first free throw. Jonathan Barbary, big fans of the Nighthawks. They're up 6 on Clayton State midway through the second quarter in Dahlonega.
Yeah.
And then the Conference Carolinas women's championship game isn't until 4 between Francis Marion and Barton. Can't have any upsets
no.
for the Trojans.
Those 2 win. Anderson might have an outside chance of sliding into that 8th spot.
It will be interesting if they can jump somebody. Bird in transition. Rattles it home. Carson-Newman's transition offense.
I will tell you, one of the things that I'm most impressed with Carson-Newman is how unselfish they are. They will look for the open woman, and they will move the ball for the best possible shot.
Well, they are
that makes a big difference.
They are the country's leader in assists for a reason. Weichel pops from the
See,
right
they
elbow.
proved my point.
Yeah. Steps called on the rebound. Bird stumbling.
Yeah. They will make that extra pass to get that shot, and that makes a difference between a winning program and not a winning program.
Not a ton of threes today for Carson-Newman, but you've seen Mike Mincy's teams in the past hunt triples as you get a second look at the Bird transition bucket. Abby Wilson has just been so good in transition running this offense today.
She sees the floor so well.
Right corner triple. Taylor Hare converts. First points for Hare. Trapping for the Trojans in the backcourt, and Mike Mincy called timeout. Certainly felt like he hollered for the timeout before the jump ball was called.
I'm surprised they didn't press coming out of the halftime.
Yeah.
I think that might have given, because they were.
Well, might have seen what Carson-Newman did to Kataba's press yesterday, and yes, the Eagles turned it over 26 times, but it wasn't the press that
No,
turned
it just
them
takes
over.
you out of your offense, that's all.
Taylor and one off the hook. 15 for Taylor.
Pressing isn't necessarily going to get a steal every time, but it takes you out of your offense, and that creates a rush shot, which then can create a fast break down the other way. So
75-49, Eagles up big. Scoreboard and our score bug has not been updated, but Carson-Newman has a 26-point lead. As the basket did count, should be 75-49. Taylor makes it 76-49.
Up there it's wrong.
You tell scoreboard that it should be 76. That basket counted. Hare, a triple, knocks it down. Wilson on fire. 14 for Abby Wilson. She's 4 of 8 from deep.
79.
79-52 Eagles. Michelle knocks it down, and Jonathan Barbary calls for time.
Who do I talk to?
I go. So Jonathan Barbary burns a full timeout, and Carson-Newman, 2 minutes, 18 seconds away from cutting down some nets and getting some hardware. Eagles have left no doubt in this one. You've got 8-0, 11-0, 12-2, and 9-0 runs for Carson-Newman. Anderson had a little 6-0 spurt to get within 7. And Carson-Newman, 8 of 9 in the fourth quarter to leave no doubt offensively late. Trojans certainly have played well over the last month of the season, and you hope that resume boost is strong enough to get them into the regional.
Carson-Newman's back up to 50% shooting.
I mean, 8 of 9 in the period certainly.
That man helps.
Will help. Michael blocked in transition. Nice hustle for Brittany Bailey. A 25-point lead for the Eagles in this one. Weichel. The bounce. Taylor hacked. So that's on Stafford. Need a second look. Weichel. Nice feed inside for Taylor, and Stafford's only play there is either let her score or Make her earn them at the free throw line.
Yeah, she was 0 for 2 in the last free throw, so let's see if she can fix it here.
Taylor 4 of 7 at the line today. She accounts for all of Carson-Newman's misses, all 4 of them, 12 of 16 as a team.
Missed again. There she goes.
Converts the second. 17 for Lindsay Taylor to go with 8 rebounds. Hare caroms it off to the left. Taylor collects her 9th board. Weichel fouled by Stafford, and Stafford is fouled out. And at 50 left in the fourth quarter, 80-54, Carson-Newman in control. The Trojans' previous 2 SAC title game wins were both close ones. 55-52, they triumphed in 2013 over Tusculum. And won 62-60 over Wingate in 2019. And Anderson pulls out Hare, Michelle, and Brittany Bailey, and those 3 get a rousing round of applause. If this margin holds, Carson-Newman will have itself the largest win in championship game history. 81-54. Eagles, a dominant effort over Anderson here in the SAC title game. Missed off to the right, tracked down by McDowell. Previous mark, Presbyterian over Carson-Newman in 1998. That was a 25-point win for the Blue Hose. And over the Eagles, Mike Mincy calls for time to bring in some subs. And Carson-Newman will give Sydney Pierce, Addison Bird, Taylor Goforth, and Abby Wilson a curtain call.
They deserve it.
Boshears, Weichel, Pindlin, Smith, and Alvey to finish things out for the Eagles. Campbell, McDowell, Rowland, Radzika, and Wilson for the Trojans. Weichel. Mishandles, but also gets fouled. And send Braylon Weichel back to the charity stripe. Weichel 19 points. Tracking toward a double-double. She needs 1 more rebound to get there. That just feeds into the effort on the glass today for Carson-Newman. Against Anderson, one of the best rebounding teams in the country. Carson-Newman plus 21 on the boards. Absolutely unbelievable rebounding effort for the Eagles. Absolutely unbelievable performance in general here in the title game. After 2 really close games in the regular season, Carson-Newman has left no doubt here on Championship Sunday. They're up by 29. Campbell pops for the triple, front of the 10, no good. An offensive rebound and stick back there for Diamond McDowell. 7 for her today. The lead is 27 for Carson-Newman. Carson-Newman securing its 3rd tournament title and 2nd under Mike Mincy. Weichel. It's Penland on the cut. Penland muscles her way in, gets stripped, gets it back, kicks Weichel. The 3, short front of the 10. Shot clock is off. Marios has the rebound. And Anderson will likely have 1 more possession before it's buzzer and ball game as Boshears reaches it on Leslie Marios. Just the 3rd foul on Carson-Newman. Well, the Eagles have left no doubt in this one. It was even in the 3rd. Carson-Newman was still up 16, but they have dominated the 4th quarter.
They have.
Marios rattles it along too, and Carson-Newman can dribble out the final moments in this one. For the third time in school history and the second time under Mike Mincy, Carson-Newman takes home the 2022 South Atlantic Conference Tournament Championship. Mike Mincy's machine reigns supreme. Carson-Newman with the largest margin of victory in championship game history. The Eagles cruise to an 83-58 win over the Trojans, and the Lady Eagles leave no doubt headed into the Southeast Region Tournament Championships. Stick around. You can watch the trophy presentation and the net cutting ceremony. It's all headed your way here on the SAC Digital Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to mid-court. The South Atlantic Conference Commissioner, Patrick Ritz, will present the 2022 South Atlantic Conference Basketball Championship Awards. First from all tournament teams. His name is called. Please come forward. From Wicked College, number 12, Brianna Troutman. And from Catawba, number 1, Janaya Downs. And from our runner-up, Anderson University, number 3, Shamika McNeil. Also from Anderson College, number 24, Samantha Michelle. And now from our champion, Carson-Newman, number 22, Abby Wilson. And also from Carson-Newman, number 11, Braylon Michael. And also from Carson-Newman, number 23, Lincoln Taylor. And for our 2022 South Atlantic Conference Championship, and now, our 2022 South Atlantic Conference Championship Most Valuable Player from Carson-Newman University, number 23, Lindsay Shade. And now we'd like to recognize our runner-up team for an outstanding effort in today's game. Will the student athletes from Anderson University please come forward and accept your tournament runner-up award? One more time, let's give a hearty congratulations to the ladies from Anderson University Trojans from Anderson, South Carolina. And now, with the student athletes of the Carson-Newman University Eagles, please come forward and accept your championship trophy. By winning the South Atlantic Championship Women's Basketball. by winning the South Atlantic Conference Women's Basketball Championship, Carson-Newman University Eagles are the automatic first in the NCAA Division II Basketball Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2022 South Atlantic Conference tournament champions, the Eagles of Carson-Newman University.
Hey, Lisa.
Once again, we'd like you to stick around for the men's championship game, which will start approximately 30 minutes once they have the court ready for play.
you. Something very crazy going on. Oh yeah. Now it's always the end of the game stuff that I gotta start putting everything together. Not all of it.